everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. This is Chris with your Morning Magpie, and it's the 6th edition. It's just a little quick news show about the headlines that are hitting Newcastle United news at the moment, and then we're going to get stuck into a few categories right now. So there's no better place to start, really. The Premier League is back this week. We are playing Fulham this weekend at Craven Cottage, and thank God for that, because international football is boring as in nations leagues and everything else. Bring me major tournaments, don't bring me these little tin pot leagues and qualifications and point scoring systems. I'm not a big fan of it at all. So I'm really glad the Premier League is back, but obviously Newcastle United are desperately looking for that second win of the season. Taking on Marco Silva's Fulham, not an easy game. We'll be covering that on the Evermore podcast as well. And there is also a little bit of hidden, well, it's not so much hidden, I suppose, but a little bit of a storyline behind that, which is the case of the X. We all know that one name will dominate this fixture, really, and that is the name of Aleksandar Mitrović, our former Serbian mental striker, who obviously went to Fulham, has become a real strong target man, a real goal scorer. It literally is Fulham's talisman, really, and he started the season in superb form. He's bagged about, is it 5 or 6 goals or something so far? He's looked absolutely fantastic. He leads the line well. He's just a good finisher. We saw shot elements of that at Newcastle United as well. So we'll be asking on this week's show whether we feel it was right to get rid of Mitrović. It is always a topic of conversation. And we'll, me and the lads will be doing that on Wednesday. So make sure you tune in for that at 7 o'clock. And, just give us your opinion as well in the comments, as always. So moving slightly on from that, and a bit of good news, I suppose. We have had a bit of a bad time of it during the international break in terms of injury news. Everyone seems to be dropping like flies, but there has been a good bit of news in the lead up to the Fulham game that apparently Bruno Guimaraes, who should be fit, his injury wasn't as bad as we all thought. Brazil came back and said that Bruno very much wanted to go back to his club. The club never asked Bruno to come back, so that shows that Bruno's obviously using his head a bit there and knowing that maybe he wasn't quite fit for these games in Brazil. He wants to get back and play for Newcastle United, so that's a huge boost for us. He didn't look very sharp against Bournemouth, to be fair, did Bruno. He's still a great player, obviously, but hopefully he's got time to rest and recuperate and come back strong against Fulham, because we need him. God knows we need him. And the massive bit of news really is that Callum Wilson sounds like he will be fit to play, and also Elliot Anderson sounds like he might be shaking off an injury as well. Possibly he could be pushing for that start that we all think he really could be having. Might be a bit too soon for Maxi. Obviously, Maxi's been busting some moves at home, which we talked about on what's going on. He might be on the bench. You never know with Maxi. But obviously, if we have those 3 key players back, that's going to be absolutely incredible, because the bad news was obviously the Aleksandar Isak blow. Apparently, Isak has he's got a leg injury, I think it is. They don't think it's a serious injury, but they're saying he could be out for a couple of weeks at least. I think Luke Edwards broke that news. Now, the worrying thing is that a lot of these injuries seem to go from a couple of weeks to 3 weeks to 4 weeks to possibly 5 weeks. So we really hope that this isn't anything too serious for Aleksandar Isak, because it'll be a bit of a nightmare, really. He started so well against Liverpool. Them 2 goals, really, I still think that second one should have stood. Obviously he had that chance against Palace as well. He could have had 3 goals in his first couple of games. So we really hope that Aleksandar can get back fit and get back in this side, alongside the likes of Wilson, Maxi, Bruno, Anderson. Obviously Shelvey sounds like he might be on the way back soon as well, which is a massive boost. So we wish Aleksandar all the best in his recovery, and really hope that that he comes back strong as soon as humanly possible. Has been some awards being dished out tonight as well. So it's the Newcastle United Foundation Awards dinner tonight, and we've had a couple of inductees to the Hall of Fame, and it's deserved winners, really, in my eyes. So the 2 winners, just to kind of run through it, I'm sure we'll touch upon this as well, maybe on the Evermore podcast on Wednesday night at 7. But John Beresford was one of the inductees. So John Beresford, if you didn't know, left back of Kevin Keegan and Atainer's era, 179 appearances between 92 and 98, 3 goals, 2 absolute snorters against Villa, I believe. But John Beresford was a superb servant for the club, and you know what, a real crack as well. If you've ever been talking with Bez, he's great form. And he's always represented the club really well ever since he stopped playing for us, which is great. So it's great to see John in the Hall of Fame, deserved winner, and the second Hall of Fame inductee. As somebody who holds a special place in our heart, both as a player and as a coach, and that was Terry McDermott. So Terry McDermott played for the club between 82 to 84. Obviously, he made his name really at Liverpool. Absolutely fantastic player for them. Over 200 appearances. Won everything there is to win. But for us, he had 74 appearances and 12 goals. Midfielder, good player. And he came back. Obviously, he's part of Kevin Keegan's coaching setup. Really well revered on Tyneside. And obviously Terry's been going through some health issues as of late. So we wish Terry well, and he looked fantastic in the pictures, and his family looked really proud, for him to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, rightly so. So absolutely well-deserved winners for both of those guys, and really happy to see them inducted into the NUFC Hall of Fame. So just finishing up the Morning Magpie for you, there has been a bit of transfer talk as well, even though the window's shut. There is a lot of stuff going on in terms of Newcastle United, a lot of transfer talk. The big one that seems to be burning away and hasn't gone away is the potential transfer of Gran Qual, the Australian wonder kid. Now that sounds like it's getting close. It sounds like we're going to beat Dortmund to this lad, which is an amazing feat for Newcastle United. So yeah, we'll hope that comes through. There's been some other names thrown up in the media as well, which we'll probably get stuck into as well, and evermore, I'm sure. But names like Christian Pulisic and James Maddison doesn't go away either. So that's a really good one as well. And there's the Ukrainian winger as well. Was it Mitrović, who looks fantastic, plays a Shakhtar Donetsk. So yeah, there's talk of a £50 million bid. So it sounds like the club are getting the January transfer plans drawn up as well, which is great, because we would definitely have holes in the squad that we need to fill. And also, just to finish up, the NUFC Takeover is back in the spotlight. It's no secret. It's coming up to a year anniversary of that amazing day back on the 7th of October last year. We're going to do a special episode as well, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel for that. We're going to have a special guest, which would be really great. I'm really excited about that, because he's a fantastic guy, and it'd be great to have him on the Evermore channel. But the news of the takeover, there's talk about the UK government allowing it to go through, and everything else. There's been a couple of articles about that. So we'll touch upon that on the Evermore podcast this week. So for all the positives, there is some people still throwing negatives at it, which I think is just a consequence, and unfortunately, of the nature of the takeover. But yeah, we'll be getting stuck into all of that and more this week on the Evermore podcast. And that's pretty much what's in your Newcastle United news this week. So if you like what we do, please remember to click that like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come join us. You just hit that bell as well. You won't miss any of the videos that pop up, whether it be the 2 live shows, What's Going On Monday at 10, or Evermore Wednesdays at 7. And all these pop-up videos, just like the Morning Magpies, match reviews, previews, and etc. It's all free content. We don't want to charge anybody for anything. We just love talking about Newcastle with you guys. And we always appreciate you jumping in the comments, letting us know what you think, and we always do our best to try and engage with you. So this is Chris signing off for the latest edition of the Morning Magpie. Let's keep supporting that team of United, and have a cracking morning, whatever you're doing, Magpies. See you later.